Straight, bro.
How did you fail, and how did that help you?
It's plenty of ways I failed. I think from just a personal development standpoint, the first way I failed is just by doing action. I think so many people get tied into, I didn't do this right, or I could have did this a little bit better, or I didn't do what I said I was going to do in the way that I was going to do it. And that's failure, just doing action and being able to basically put certain things in perspective and certain things in action. And when you do that, you're gonna go through failure, no matter what it is. You can be a basketball player in the gym. You wanted to hit 300 shots, but you only hit 288. That's still fine because you're failing forward, and that's a good thing to take from it. Is failing forward is still doing action, but still getting better. When you're doing action and you're getting better, the thing is you may not be to where you want to be at that point. However, but you are better than you was yesterday. So when being better than you were yesterday, failing forward is the concept that you want to go into, because when you're going into that concept and you're being able to go, I had these things in place for today, but yesterday I know I wasn't the same person, and that's progress, that's success. And failing in that way leads you to that greatness or that success that you want to obtain. Now, how have I failed in my and from a personal development standpoint is every single day I do shit wrong, and it can be the smallest thing of I may not have timed out my breakfast how I wanted it to be in my morning. I may not have read the many chapters in a book that I wanted to read within that day, or it may be I didn't get enough clients that I wanted to add to my business that day. It's all about just perspective and going, I know I'm pushing forward. However, failure is still getting me to that point that I want to be. And then lastly, I was saying business, just something I touched on with clients. I have a weekly quota that I want to hit every single week to grow my business, whether it's through social media, whether it's through advertising, whether it's through going to find affiliates to partner up with my credit repair company. No matter what the case is, I'm always trying to grow my business so I can scale it out to become the biggest credit repair business in the United States. So I'm failing because, yeah, I might not hit that quota, but it's bettering me and it's molding me into the business mogul that I want to become. And I've always thought that mindset of, as long as you're doing something, even if you're doing it wrong, you're still getting better every single day. And for the most part, that's been like my mindset for my life, and how it's molded me into a strong individual, let alone businessman, and how I treat every aspect of my life. Fail forward so you can become greater than you were yesterday.
Who are you before you failed? If you get what I'm trying to say.
Who was I before I failed? The same the person that I was yesterday. As cliche as that sounds. So,
like mentally and like.
Oh, like, so you meaning what type of person was I before I realized failure was the way I had to go?
Yeah. Like being afraid.
Self-loathing. And no, I'm sorry, that's not the correct term. Pitiful. Negative. Always in my feelings about stuff that I can control. Pointing fingers. That type of person. Plenty of conversations with my wife, plenty of conversations with close friends that I have. It's amazing what can happen when you flip that switch and go, it's not about them anymore, it's about the actions I'm doing. And with that being said, I started to realize the things that my wife was saying, the things that my friends were saying was true, and I wasn't taking accountability of the person that I wanted to become. So once I took the accountability and responsibility to become the person that I wanted to become, everything started to align. So I didn't have to worry about, if this was going to happen or if this was going to work. I know even if I don't get to that point, I'm failing forward, and failing forward eventually is going to lead you to the point that you want to get to. And with doing that, everything in my life, from business to family oriented to things that I couldn't control, things involving just things involving other things that I couldn't control. And doing that, I learned that by failing forward and by putting on tunnel vision in your head, you block out all the insecurities and the bullshit that you thought was relevant. When you have tunnel vision and you fail forward, bullshit and insecurities go away. And you don't have to worry about if I'm going to become this person. It's a matter of when I'm going to become that person. It's not a matter of when am I going to, if I'm going to open this business. It's going to be when I'm going to open up that business. Just having that determination and confidence of going, I'm not going to be the person that's afraid of failure, afraid of uncertainty. Because when you go into uncertainty, and you go into that realm, that's where you create the best greatness. You can't tell me Michael Jordan. You can't tell me Kobe Bryant. You can't tell me Tiger Woods were in dark places and they were in the best position mentally. And when they tap into that it factor, that cleaner mindset, you start to become numb to anything that doesn't contribute to greatness. And I think that was the best thing for me, realizing that failure leads to greatness. And when you keep failing, eventually you're just gonna get to the person you want to be.
And it also helps with your risks. Helps you realize that like risks.
Hell yeah, risk. Without risk, you're not going for anything. Mm-hmm. The hell, I mean, people can live their life all day off of what ifs and why I should have or shoulda, coulda, woulda type of person. But what the hell that's gonna get you? That's gonna get you a lot of thoughts.
Like so what could have been.
The biggest one of my mentors, Will Roundtree, it's a quote that he always says: "The richest place in the world is the graveyard." Because the richest people, the graveyard is the richest places because the people that's in those grounds or in those caskets got had a million thoughts in their head like, damn, I should have opened up that business. Damn, I should have went for that girl that I really wanted. Damn, I should have bought that car that I really wanted. You always thinking about the what ifs. People die on a daily thinking about what if. That shit, you losing life. You losing life at that point. So if you don't think that I'm going to take every risk possible because I know this is what I want to do with my life and this is the place I want to get to, you're going to live a mundane, boring ass, non-adventurous type of life. And for me, forget success and just trying to be a human being and living my life to the fullest. I'm going to take every risk possible, not just for myself, but for my family, and making sure that I didn't leave anything on the table to take my family's legacy and my family's last name to a different tier.
And you probably already said the same thing. When you're fighting like what ifs, why probably gonna answer the same thing. What ifs and why do we what ifs and how, I don't want to say how can you stop it, because that's horny. Is what ifs and like what could have been generational?
Hell no. It's people every age of life doing that. No,
I mean like not generational in that aspect of like your mother, father, like, man, we could have did this, we could have did that. Like, do you think that stems from like family life, or like what do you think that is?
Oh, so you're saying like what is the root from it, and like does it go deeper into generations? Hell yeah, it does. Hell yeah. You know, imagine a family of 3, mom, dad, and then 3 siblings in one family, and you got the little brother the father who all lived his entire life on, man, son, I knew I should have did what I wanted to do. Or the mom says, you know what, son, we should have did that, but maybe later. And you keep doing that for a whole lifetime, you ain't doing nothing but affecting millions of generations and cycles after you. So now your last name becomes the what ifs, or I should have done. And every generation is wasted because they're not living up to their fullest potential. And what I mean by fullest potential is, if you're living up to your fullest potential, what if is not even in your vocabulary. Could have is not even in your communication at all, in your wording at all. So to answer your question, yes, And that's more of a mindset thing. The what if is a mindset. It's not about generations. It's not about listening to other people outside of you. It's your family and what you live with every single day. If my mom eats pizza every day, 9 times out of 10, I'm probably gonna eat a pizza every now and then. If my dad rides a Harley bike and I see that it looks cool, as a son, I might go get a Harley just because my parents are doing it. Or my siblings eats brownies every day, so I'll probably eat a brownie or two. I say all that to say is mirroring your family is a real thing, to where you don't even consciously think that I'm thinking as like a what if or a could have or a should have person, but through the actions of people surrounded by you, you look at that and go, subconsciously you're doing it in some part of your day. And it's like a drug. If it gets a hold of you into where it gets addicting, that shit can just go like a wildfire into every aspect of your life. And when that happens, you go from I'm taking every risk trying to be great and whatever I want to do to mediocrity and being average and compared to the normal U.S. society. But fuck that. If you want to take risks, that's going to be the best thing you got to do. And it's going to get you to the point you want to be at.
And like that made me think of like like Gen Z and like millennials, and like people are always talking.
But not putting their money where their mouth is.
And they're like, man, I get this all the time where people will just, man, your generation is so like, y'all have no fear. Y'all have no fear. But like the thing about it is, it's just what we were, like our environment for real.
I wouldn't even say that. I think with a real big difference between millennials, Generation Z, and then all of the older generations is we have to adapt to learning every single second of the day. So with technology, with industries that we're in, with our family lives, how much different everything was to their time. Their time was more of you do this, you do that, it leads to that. Nowadays, Generation Z and millenniums, one of our mentors or somebody we look up to may tell us to do something, and then the next day that can change because of a new technology update, a new technology advance, or something in the school system, and it can lead to that, to where uncertainty, that's it. Uncertainty is our life. Theirs was predicated on a blueprint. This is what you do, this is what it could lead to. But with us, things update every single second, so we have to be on our toes, and if we are not on our toes, we'll get left behind within a short time frame. So I think the difference is with us and our generations is we don't give a fuck because we know that uncertainty is what we got to live by, versus older generations, they have a blueprint to where they have to follow, and they know if they don't follow this, it won't happen. Versus us, we don't care, and even if it doesn't happen, we can go another route because there's so many different resources that we have versus what they had.
And I have a couple questions. When you said something in an earlier video, one of our earliest videos, you said keeping up with the Joneses. When you're and you said that was kind of a bad thing, but shit, is it a bad thing when you're an entrepreneur or someone whose job is like uncertain, and it's just to be with the times and just be this, my job depends on it. If I don't look behind me, see what's going on, because if I don't, then I'm going to be, like you said, I'm going to be left behind. So like adapting to your environment and stuff like that.
The Joneses is not actual person. Joneses is a mindset.
I know.
But the Joneses is a mindset of I'm keeping up with things that I know I can't keep up with, but I'm doing it for people who don't give a fuck about me. That's what that mindset is. So if Robert goes to buy a Challenger because he saw Frank had it, but Frank has a good paying job, and buying a car is so small to him that he's not affected by it. But if Robert goes into that and buys that car, and he knows that his kid needs diapers this week, but he takes that $50 that he has for diapers and puts it into his car note that he can't even afford, nor has Robert put in 3 months worth of savings or saved for a down payment on that car and done his financial budgets or whatever the case may be to actually analyze and study, he really can afford it. That's what keeping up with the Joneses is. You're keeping up with stuff that you know that you can't keep up with, and you still keep trying to do it because you're trying to please a group of people who really just don't give a fuck about you when you think they really do.